Can I show you one of the most confusing conversations in the Bible? Now, an angel appears to Gideon and says, "The Lord is with you, mighty man of valor." And Gideon's response is basically, "Who are you talking to?" I mean, seriously, read the story. God calls him mighty, and Gideon starts talking about being weak. God talks about purpose, and Gideon talks about limitation. God talks about what he can become, and Gideon talks about where he came from. And the more I read it, the more I realize this wasn't a conversation about Gideon's future. It was a conversation about Gideon's identity. You know what I find interesting? God never argues with Gideon's weakness. He just keeps speaking to his potential. And that's what stopped me. Because if I'm honest, I spend a lot of time talking to God like Gideon. God will say one thing, and then I answer with my circumstances. God will talk about possibility, and I'll talk about history. God will talk about where I'm going, and then I'll talk about where I've been. And somewhere in the middle of all that, I realized something. Gideon's biggest problem wasn't the Midianites. It wasn't his lack of resources. It wasn't his lack of experience. It was that he couldn't see what God saw. Now think about it. Nothing changed externally during that conversation. The enemy was still there. The circumstances were still there. The challenges were still there. The only thing that started changing was Gideon's lens. And maybe that's where transformation always starts. Not when your circumstances change, but when you stop introducing yourself by your limitations. Because if all Gideon ever sees is weakness, he'll live like a weak man. If all he sees is fear, he'll live like a fearful man. If all he sees is lack, he'll live from lack. See, the battle wasn't just out there. The battle was in how he saw himself. Anyway, that's what I've been thinking about. So maybe the question isn't, what am I capable of? Maybe the question is, what if I've been introducing myself through the wrong story? Comment Gideon if you've ever felt the tension between who you are and who you're becoming.